Hey, and welcome back to the Lily Kathleen podcast. Let's be honest, losing blood isn't a lot of fun. Leave me alone phase. Dramatically lie down on the couch. Create space for you. We don't really talk about this because a lot of the time we don't even know this stuff. We are not like men. Just want to wear a sign on your forehead, that says, please do not disturb. Hot girl summer phase where you feel confident as fuck. Your body isn't working against you, it is working for you. You just need to listen to it. You feel like you're absolutely thriving, and then the next day you're wrapped in a blanket crying over a dog video. Hey, and welcome back to the Lily Kathleen podcast. Now, before we get to it, I just want to mention right now for the viewers who are watching on YouTube or are watching the video version, if you do see me looking down at my laptop, I'm just looking at my notes as I want to make this episode as educational and as informative as possible. And before we dive in, I just want to take a moment to send love and support to anyone affected by Cyclone Alfred in Australia at the moment. If you or someone you love has been impacted, please know that my thoughts are with you. It's a very tough time for many, whether you have been affected or not, simply by the sense of fear and the unpredictability of this particular cyclone. And I hope you're able to lean into support networks, community help, and even small amounts of rest when you can. If there's anything I can do to help share resources, to get news out or information out to others using my social media platform, please just reach out and I am happy to do so. Now, today's topic is all about cycle syncing. Understanding why our energy, mood, and cravings shift throughout the month and how we can work with our hormones instead of fighting them. Cycle syncing literally changed my life, and it's changed so many other women's lives as well. But a lot of people still don't know what it is and how to actually implement it. If you've ever wondered why one day you're smashing goals and you feel like you're absolutely thriving, and then the next day you're wrapped in a blanket crying over a dog video, it's not you. Firstly, we are women, and secondly, it is your hormones. And by the end of this episode, you will know 3 very intuitive and helpful things. What cycle syncing actually is and why it is completely life-changing, how to eat, move, and live in sync with your hormones, and 3 hot tips to start syncing your life today. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So what even is cycle syncing? AKA, you are not crazy. And when I figured this out, it made me so much more self-aware and so much more self-compassionate around the fact that you're not this hormonal, crazy, emotional woman. You are just a woman who experiences hormonal shifts, which are normal. So here's the deal. Our bodies don't run on a 24-hour cycle like men do. Unfortunately not. No. That's not us. Instead, we get this very fancy 28-day cycle, which can be 30 days or 32 days or even 35 days, and it can affect our energy, our mood, our cravings, our workouts, and even how social we feel. Cycle syncing is basically hacking your lifestyle to match your hormonal shifts so that you can feel better throughout the month, have fewer energy crashes, mood swings, and sugar cravings, and finally understand why some days you're like a productivity queen. And trust me, I have those days. And other days you just want to be a burrito wrapped up in a blanket. And I have those days as well. And before you ask, no, this isn't woo-woo nonsense, okay? This is science. And for those of you who don't know, I actually studied biomedical science, which is a pre-medical degree. All right, so let's break down these 4 phases as simply and as intuitively as we can so that you can actually understand what the heck is going on inside your body month to month. To start with, your menstrual phase, okay? This is when you're on your AKA period, or what I like to call the do not disturb me phase, okay? Which can go from days 1, 2, 3. It can go for 5 days. For some women, it goes for 7 days. The reason I call this the do not disturb me phase, to be honest, is because that's what I literally tell my partner when I'm on my period. Just do not disturb me. What is happening though? Your hormones literally hit rock bottom, okay? Just like your social battery. You feel all tired, you don't want to be social, you literally just want to wear a sign on your forehead, that says, please do not disturb. Your body is literally shedding the uterine lining, okay? AKA your uterus is Marie Kondoing itself. Okay, so my camera has been really bad with battery today. I swear this always happens whenever I film. There's some sort of technical error. Anyway, moving on. So how to support your body during your period. Eating iron-rich foods, okay? So your body's losing a lot of iron because it's losing a lot of blood, which makes you feel also very de-energized, very tired, lethargic, and for some it can make them anemic as well, which means that your body's severely low in iron. So making sure you're eating spinach, red meat, and herbal teas like nettle tea. That's one of my recommendations for when you are menstruating, because let's be honest, losing blood isn't a lot of fun. 2 is skip the crazy workouts, ladies. Okay, if you're bleeding and you feel tired, don't do these crazy workouts, okay? Your body is working hard enough already. So try yoga, try stretching, or just dramatically lie down on the couch. It is totally okay to rest. It is totally okay to listen to our bodies. And that is something that I feel like is not taught enough about. Self-care, 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 all right? Hot baths, naps, and telling people, you know what, I'll answer that email next week. You know what, I'll ring you back when I can. Create space for you. We are not like men, okay? We don't have this 12-hour cycle. We have a 28-day, 30-day, 32-day, 35-day, depending on who you are, cycle. There are times when we need to accept the fact, acknowledge the fact, and become more self-compassionate to rest and have those healthy boundaries. Stage 2, which is your follicular phase, okay? Roughly days 6 to 14, but again, this can adjust dependent on the woman. This is the I can do anything phase. I know for myself personally, when I start to enter my follicular phase, I feel like the doors are finally opening and I can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's getting brighter and brighter every single day. So naturally your motivation is a little bit higher. But what's actually happening is that your estrogen is rising, which is making you feel like a freaking superhero, okay? You're more social, you're more energetic, and you are quite ready to, quote unquote, conquer the world. At least that's how I feel. Now, this is what you can do to support yourself though during this phase. Firstly, eat fresh, light foods, okay? Because your digestion is working better, but it's still priming itself. It's still not at optimal digestion, okay? So think smoothies, salads, and all the good stuff that you might have ignored during your period. 2 is exercise. Go crush those strength workouts, HIIT sessions, just go do it, okay? Especially if you rested during your period, go for it. And this is also the time to plan big things, all right? Job interviews, dates with that man that you want to meet, important meetings. Basically ride this wave before the premenstrual symptoms kick in. So make the freaking most of it. Phase 3, your ovulatory phase. Now, when I'm ovulating, I literally know I'm ovulating. Like I don't even need to look at my app. Ovulation will last for 1 to 2 days, dependent on the person. It's a very short phase, but it is the best phase in my opinion, because it is the hot girl summer phase where you feel confident as fuck, all right? And what is happening here is that your estrogen and your testosterone, yes, women have testosterone too, these two hormones absolutely peak. Think the top of Mount Everest, and as though you're sitting on the top of it, feeling like the biggest fucking amazing female athlete in the world, because you conquered that massive climb, all right? You're basically a walking confidence boost, and that is literally what I feel like. Your skin is glowing, your libido is up, so your sex drive is really high, and you actually want to talk to people. You actually want to talk to people. Now, I am the most introverted person you will ever meet. For me to want to talk to someone is the biggest thing in my body telling me you are ovulating, because I don't actually like talking to people. Let's just be honest. This is also when you are at your utmost fertility. So for women who are wanting to fall pregnant, when you are ovulating, that is definitely when you want to have a bit of naughty time in the bedroom with your partner, because your fertile window is very high, it's very open, and it will welcome in what goes in there. So how to support yourself during this phase? Eat hydrating foods, berries, cucumbers, spearmint tea as well, because that will help reduce the bloating. There is a little bit more bloating that goes on during your ovulation, all right? Exercise, go hard, go for it. This is the best time for you to intensify your workouts as well. I'm talking PBs in the gym if you're a gym girly, and say yes to social plans, okay? This is your peak charisma era, especially for myself I literally get anxious about social outings. I literally get anxious about meeting people that I know really well. It's just who I am. So if I'm gonna meet someone, if I can plan it when I'm ovulating, it's a very smart idea. Bear with me, we've had a lot of technical errors with this camera battery, but that's what happens when, you might be intelligent up in the head, but you're not intelligent when it comes to technology, which is definitely me. If any of you are any good with the Sony ZV-1, I believe that's what it's called, do let me know. All right, moving on to the fourth phase, which is the phase I'm in at the time of recording. Luteal phase, okay? Days 18 to 28, or to day 30, or to day 35, to day 32. As I said, women's actual cycle isn't strictly to 28 days. We can get into that though in another video. This is the leave me alone phase. I literally said this to my partner yesterday and this morning, and obviously I didn't genuinely mean like leave me alone for the rest of my life, but there's a reason why I said it, and there is a reason why I called it that phase as well. So what is happening is that your progesterone is rising, and suddenly, like literally everything is annoying. And if you feel like that during your luteal phase, it's normal, and you're a woman, and that's part of this podcast, accepting the fact that we feel certain ways and we might say certain things during certain phases, and creating the awareness that isn't really there, right? We don't really talk about this because a lot of the time we don't even know this stuff. You feel tired, you feel bloated, and you feel like a human heating pad, meaning like the hotter you get, the more annoying everything freaking gets. And it's like everything's on your last nerve. You don't have the patience that your beautiful self did have during your follicular phase, okay? And how you can support yourself during this time. So eat magnesium-rich foods, dark chocolates, nuts. I love some organic cinnamon tea in my tea. This is actually a concoction for the video viewers at the moment that has lots of other things in it. I'm in my luteal phase at the moment. This has organic dandelion root, cinnamon tea, and ashwagandha tea as well. So that's a great little concoction that you can make during your luteal phase. 2, slow down your workouts, okay? Switch to yoga, walking, or just stretching in bed. For me, myself, I'll be doing some yoga today. And give yourself permission to rest, okay? If you're really not feeling that great, listen to your body. Because you do not have to be productive every second of the day, of every fucking day of the month either. We run different to men, and it's time that we accept that. Now, I want to leave you with 3 tips to start cycle syncing today. Just little things that you can start to implement that are very easy given your very busy life that many of us live. So number 1 is to start tracking your cycle like a freaking boss bitch, okay? Not just here and there, not just when you're on your period. Track any sort of symptoms that you notice every single day. Like if you notice like you're feeling tired, or you're feeling anxious, or maybe you're craving something, or maybe you're, sorry to use the word, but your cervical fluid, so the fluid that, women, maybe sometimes it looks like this, and sometimes, it looks like egg yolk, for example. Track these things. It's really important that you have the data, and the advances that we have in technology these days is absolutely insane. It can tell you a lot. My recommendations would be Flow, Clue, or MyFlow. I personally use Flow because I used it a very long time ago and it has my history in it. However, it does run off the 28-day cycle rule. And remember, our cycles don't have to be strictly 28 days long. Notice your mood, energy, cravings, and when you feel like ghosting absolutely everyone. Because trust me, it's important to not only log any cramping that you experience, but also your emotions, your mindset, all of that kind of stuff can really help long term. Number 2 is to drink cycle supporting teas instead of relying on coffee, okay? Coffee overstimulates your nervous system, which is why we feel alert when we have coffee, but it really doesn't help women with their menstrual symptoms, okay? So I'm not saying you have to chuck coffee out of your life, okay? If I was a uni student at the time of watching or listening to this podcast, I would not be chucking my beloved coffees in the bin that I had 3 times a day. But what I would be doing is, instead of pumping myself with caffeine all month, I would try add some chamomile tea, add some raspberry leaf tea, during your premenstrual symptoms, and green tea, for example, during your follicular phase. 3, ladies, let's stop beating ourselves up for not feeling the same every day. I beat myself up all the time, and I still do. I literally still do, but I think collectively as women, we need to learn to not do that. And I'm on my journey with that. I'm not beating myself up as much, okay? I will say that, but I still beat myself up for not feeling the same every single day, when the truth is we are not designed to feel like that. Like, there's literally no way. If you look at the hormones and the changes, there's no way we can feel the same every single day, okay? If you feel exhausted during your period, rest. Rest. It's okay. I'm also here to say it's okay to rest. I'm also here to tell myself that it's okay to rest. If you're on fire during ovulation, like literally go crush it. Go be that boss bitch or that uni bitch or whatever. Go do it. Make the most of it. And if your cycle makes you feel shit, but then at times it makes you feel freaking amazing, just know that your cycle is not your weakness. It is your freaking superpower. I am so sorry for all of the interruptions, people, but this is the first time in the past 2.5 hours. Yes, I know the podcast isn't that long, but this is how long I have had to wait for it to charge and reach. I promise that the future episodes will not be like this. I will organize it. But finally, my camera, just so you know, is charging and filming at the same time. I feel like a freaking queen right now because my camera was not serving me like that for the past 2.5 hours. Anyway, what I was trying to say is it isn't our weakness, okay? Our menstrual cycle really is our superpower. We can become so much more mentally resilient. We can learn so much more about ourselves, and we can really experience these deeper levels of emotions that men can't because they don't have some of the hormones we have, and some of the hormones they do have, we have in much higher or lower quantities at different days and throughout different days of the month. It's actually incredible when you think about it. So it's not our weakness. And it really can be your superpower if you learn to be intuitive and create awareness. So if you want to create awareness and be more intuitive with what your body feels and what it needs, then definitely chuck me a follow on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube. I really appreciate it. It does help me bring out more episodes and more education to you all. That is basically cycle syncing in a nutshell, ladies. If you take just one thing from this episode, let it be this though. Your body isn't working against you. It is working for you. You just need to listen to it. For so long, I thought my body was working against me because of all of the things the doctors would say. And I know, and I have friends that didn't experience that. And I was technically the healthy one. I wasn't overweight. They were, but they didn't have period pain. I was the one who went to the gym. I was the one who had salad sandwiches. I was the one who made smoothies. But I still experienced all these issues. So instead of thinking that your period is working against you, know that it is working for you. If you are having a period, your body is working for you. So many women struggle to even get a period, right? I struggled to get periods consistently for like a decade of my life, really. Not a decade, sorry, 5 years. It felt like a decade. My goodness. So, well, technically, actually, yes, it was a decade because I was technically late to getting my period given what they consider normal. But look, long story short, we need to listen, all right? Start simple. Track your cycle. Adjust your food and your workouts. As I said before, add an extra drink into your days. Add some more teas into your life. Organic, of course. Organic teas because they will actually have nutrient value that actually provide your body the nutrients in what is supposedly in these different herbs and spices. If it's not organic, you know, you're not getting a high nutrient value. Now, before I go, I just want to again acknowledge everyone who has been affected by Cyclone Alfred. I'm actually sitting here in my apartment today and my partner told me we definitely should go to the grocery store because there's like literally nothing at the grocery store. And if we go in lockdown, we are going to be kind of fucked because we don't have enough food in the house. So if you are going through a difficult time right now, please take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones and don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay, because we are all in this together. Apparently, Australia hasn't experienced a cyclone in like 35 years or something, which is crazy. And I'm not 30 or 35, so I've never experienced a cyclone in my entire life. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend because we all deserve to feel good all month long. And if I could have got my hands on something like this, even to just understand the basics of a menstrual cycle when I was younger, and even just get an insight into the world that you don't have to live off pain medication. And there are things out there that actually work, that are natural and good for your body. And they don't have these negative side effects and you can heal these things. Well, maybe not endometriosis, but you can heal a lot of other things. And even those who have endometriosis, this can support you through it because it has really high anti-inflammatories, etc., etc. I'll get into that in a whole nother podcast though. But I do hope you found this episode helpful. And again, please share it with a friend who you think might benefit from it too. Thanks for hanging out with me and I will catch you in the next one.